Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Scorpio. If Scorpio is your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising sign, then this is a message for you. All right, let's get started. And so this is a bonus reading for Scorpio. I have TT over here, so I'm going a little slow. And we have the Death card. This is from Tarot of the Abyss deck. Okay, hang on. Let me get you up there. Okay. All right, and let's take a look and see what these tea leaves have to say. What do you have to say? I thought you were going to say something. All right. So if you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit that little bell. It'll let you know when the next videos are coming out. And if you... Oh, it is free to subscribe. No, don't bite me though. Okay, so we have a person standing here. Immediately I thought of the Hermit. Be careful, TT. We have the Hermit. And it looks like holding a staff that looks like a snake. So we have the serpent in one hand. And in this hand, it looks like maybe holding, I don't know. I was going to say maybe holding a scale or maybe like some kind of dowsing object. But you can see the eyes and the nose. We have the snake coming through here. In the heart area right here, it looks like we have a fish, okay? And so the fish usually signifies, for me anyways, an abundance of resources, usually money. But it could be, food on the table. It could be opportunity, emotional abundance. But I think in this situation, there seems to be this real turn towards your studies. And I think that you are taking those studies and really applying them to how you're living your life. I imagine this is something spiritual, maybe something philosophical, religious, maybe like self-help of some kind. But I feel that there's just this, and we have two people over here meditating. They're in a meditative state, or posture and state. And I imagine there really is this intense pull towards what one might call self-development, self-improvement, having a more organic and holistic relationship with yourself. And so through this work, I see that you are divining. I see that you have this kind of psychic and clairvoyant, the eyes of a seer, and knowledge flowing. We have that serpent. It is going right over the mouth area. So it's almost like the serpent tongue, but not that it is a sharp and biting tongue. This is a tongue speaking divine knowledge. Okay, this is the knowledge of the initiates. This is the knowledge of the mystics. This is, the mysteries. And not only that, we have it looks like a deer looking upwards. And this has become for me the symbol of psychic connection. Okay, kind of this little bridge. And so I feel like you are just in a place where it's like you are totally aligned with this channel of energy flowing through your life. You are really, really like keyed into that mystery that lies just beneath the surface. You are seeing signs, symbols, synchronicities. You are foretelling things. You see, you notice, you look at all the details, and you listen to the stirrings of your intuition, of your knowing, of your wisdom. And I can see you kind of, you knowing and speaking what is to come. Okay. And it might feel more intense. I don't think this is a new thing necessarily, but I feel like you are in a period of time where it is so very intense. And not only do you notice it, I think that you are drawing people into your life. You are showing people who you already have relationships with, this side of yourself that, I think that it's almost like they're quite amazed. They haven't really seen this in practice with you. But there are happenings that are so undeniable that it's like, how they can't believe it, right? And so really a place of power, such a powerful place. Hello. Was that you meowing over there? Or was that Pudgy? Oh, here comes Pudgy. My goodness. So we have a crab. And we have the crescent moon with the man on the moon, or the man in the moon. Is that? I forget which one. But we have the face. We have the nose. We have the mouth. I have to stop laughing like that. My Taurus reading, I was coughing through the whole thing. I could not stop. I was trying to stop myself, but I couldn't. And I feel bad. But I got so deep into the reading, I just had to keep going. But, I keep laughing, and it's like I set myself off here. Now, okay, so we have the moon. We have the crab, which is Cancer, or this very kind of lunar being, a watery and lunar and moody and has their hard shell and protective of themselves, that energy. But we also have the moon, which I see them as kind of this, they're very aligned. And so, again, we have this kind of the ebb and flow of the emotionality, sometimes pretty intense as those tides turn. And we also have with the lunar energy a sense of maybe some illusion, fantasy, getting lost in other worlds, maybe your dream life, your interior landscape. And so, I feel there is a sense of really kind of being so kind of drawn into these psychic, clairvoyant, spiritual events, happenings in your life that you are kind of very walled off from your mundane life and the people you interact with. I can see you where, most of the time you like to sit and talk and connect and be together. This is a time where you're kind of like, okay, I'm going to pack up my stuff and get home now and get back to my books or my, my studies, my journeying around in the natural world, whatever it is. I imagine you kind of like meandering through some like sacred grove looking for, like sigils or something, natural occurring sigils. But yes, I do. I feel like you're very much into yourself. Now, from the outside, people might think, okay, you're really like isolating, you're kind of a little bit crabby, maybe kind of standoffish. But to you, it's like kind of, you don't want to be distracted from things, whatever, you know, you are really kind of, like I said, keyed in on. Excuse me. And so, you know, I think that there can be times where you maybe come off as being a little impatient. And I think that's really kind of the vibe. It's like, okay, now I gotta get back to my thing. And so, you know, the only thing I can say here is that I understand. And when you get into those places where the universe is just vibing with you and it's just coming to you, the dreams are intense. The you know, the patterns showing up in your life are intense. Sacred knowledge seems to be like kind of left at your doorstep for you. It's hard to pry yourself away from it, but you have to find a balance so you don't kind of spiral. And I'm looking right here. We have a little spiral right there. Okay. So, you got to keep your feet firmly planted on earth, solid ground. So doing your routines, making sure you're getting enough sleep, making sure you're eating well, whatever that looks like for you, making sure you're doing intentional movement, going outside a little bit, you know, being around people. Well, I mean, you don't have to be around people, but, you know, at least being among people or interacting with at least one person every couple of days, right? Checking in, having support people, having people you trust, or at least one person that you can talk to, even if it's your therapist, right? It doesn't have to be family or a good friend or anything like that. And just, you know, in keeping yourself present at least a little bit throughout your day. Okay. When you're shopping or, you know, you're at work doing something, just check in with yourself to make sure I'm in this moment. I'm right here. I'm not off kind of daydreaming or thinking about like, what am I going to do when I'm out of here? You know, whatever it is. You know, just making sure that you are kind of, you're not full space cadet, okay? Which sounds nice, really. I look forward to my next period of time where I'm just fully immersed in the work. All right, let's see. We have a 21 right there, 21. So that number feels important. For some reason, the name Alex keeps coming through. Now we have, it looks like 224. 224. We have a ladder and a bird sitting next to it. Oh, and interesting. We have the two eyes, but where is the third? So we have a ladder with eyes and we have a bird sitting next to it. So I almost kind of feel like we have somebody coming through, some family member or friend, some beloved person. And we have this ladder kind of going into the sky. So the bird is the messenger. We also have a person standing here with their arm up, gazing upwards. So in a state of awe. Usually, this is a posture of witnessing something divine, right? Looking into the sky, seeing something divine. Something that totally invokes awe. So I do feel like there's this sense of kind of going up and down the ladder of consciousness. And if you could imagine a ladder, right? And this, I think I'm thinking, I could be wrong, but I think it's Jacob's ladder, Jacob's ladder. And spiritual alchemy, this is a symbol of at the top of the ladder would be like the micro or macrocosm. So the universe, the cosmos, right? The big stuff. And then at the bottom of the ladder, this is the microcosm, the little tiny, the atoms and, whatever is smaller than atom. I don't know. Couldn't tell you, but whatever's smaller than that, all the things that kind of come together to comprise what this universe is made of, and so if we look at this spiritually, or we look at this as far as perception, we can apply it to like every aspect of our life, really. And so I look at this one and I think, it seems to be a feeling of uniting yourself with this concept of your higher thinking or your daemon, your guardian angel, kind of the messenger or voice between you and that divine thing. Right? So I feel that there is this real intense kind of calling to kind of, I think, forge that relationship. Now, and I'm thinking in, Western Hermeticism, there's this concept of, kind of journeying, going on the quest of finding, identifying, and unifying with this guardian angel, right? Your holy angel. And this is not for you. And this is some of the initial work, but it's work that goes far into your initiation process. And this is really, I feel like an easier way to look at it if you are not an occultist, or please don't scratch me. Go. Really moody, this girl. She's the moody one. She's scratching me up. They're all riled up here, both of them. So you can really kind of apply this to maybe the thinking of really listening to not only your consciousness, your scale of morality and ethics and virtues and so on, but really find beneath all of these things, these kind of layers, your true will, right? What are you here for? What is it that you exist in this body on this earth for? What is the driving force for you? And it's unique to each of us. There's no right or wrong answer. And it is your personal quest to kind of figure out what that is. And so, I think that this is something that maybe is really important to you. This maybe is behind some kind of existential crisis, or an acute awareness of your life and, the meaning of your life, and, what is it that keeps you going, right? Sometimes, we wake up in our own lives and we think, what the heck am I doing? What does all this really mean? I've achieved a lot of stuff. I have done this, I've done that, I've failed. Once in a while I have a good win, and all of this is wonderful and all of this is most blessed. But what does it mean to me? And what does it mean in the grand scheme of things, or on some level anyways? And so, I think you're kind of in a place where you're going through a check-in with yourself. And that's not a bad thing. I think, we need these moments, even if they can feel very, disruptive and kind of destabilizing to some degree. But we need to continually realize we grow as beings. We change. What made sense when you were 14 years old is different than when you're 26 years old, and different from when you're, 58 years old. All of these things that we're, learning and implementing and getting rid of and carrying with us and forgetting and whatever, they all color our experience. And so it is important that we do check in. And I think this is akin to a time period of kind of a rite of passage. And it maybe is that you are going into middle age, or you're going into the years beyond that, the golden years, or I don't know what else you might call it. I was wondering, TT's over there chewing on something. She's got one of her toys. So anyways, yes, I think this is a very special time for you. And it is potent. It is potent. So, make use of it. Make some art. Make some art, right? Do something special with it. It doesn't come around all that often, I don't think. Not just for you, for anybody. Excuse me. Come on, T. Now, me and you are going to make a little promise. We're going to be nice. I'll be nice, you be nice. Yeah? All right, sounds good. Okay, let's take a look. We have a person on a horse, and we have a fish. They're riding towards the fish. So I do see we have abundance here, once again. And so it makes sense to me that, maybe there is a desire for maybe obtaining resources, having a little more stability in your life in some capacity. And you are really, trying to resort some things within yourself so that you can feel more in tune and confident, and even just ready to kind of work towards whatever this goal is with money, or maybe a domestic dynamic or emotional resources, whatever it is. But I think that you really are kind of like getting it all together. And I think this is important to point out because, a lot of times we think, okay, I gotta figure out how I'm gonna make some more money here. I am not, it's hard to meet, all of my responsibilities, and, the bills are stacking up, everything's so expensive and so on. But I'm just going to try to, white knuckle it, or I'm going to just add on a bunch of stuff to what I'm already doing. And that might work for a while there, but when we kind of start from the inside out, when we start, really looking at what is actually going to be sustainable for me, what is it that my heart desires, what kinds of things am I interested in, what am I willing to really honestly apply myself to, right? That makes all the difference, and so, I think that ultimately, this labor of love that you have been going through with yourself, and I think that you enjoy, it is kind of, it is kind of leaving behind, and this is where the death, this is the energy of the death in the reading. It's kind of leaving some old stuff behind, leaving some, you know, some things that maybe you have been devoted to, as trying to see through, and it's not, it has not been working for you. And so you transition into this time in your life where you're very much in yourself. You're very about the work. And that is the work with a capital W, you know, the sacred work, the interior work, the alchemical work, you know, whatever, self work. And that, and in that work, it flows out, you know, from the inside out, it flows through all aspects of your life, you know. That's not to say like, oh, now you're going to make $1 million, you know, I don't know, maybe you will. But I do think that it will lend you the ability to really kind of apply yourself to something that you love. And that will make you some money, you know. Even if it's doing work that that's not your favorite, but you're in in a state of feeling alive, feeling fulfilled, feeling, you know, that you are able to enjoy aspects of your life and feel connected to things. That, I think, makes it easier to do any kind of work, really, right? So let's take a look. We also have a little bird down here. We have this psychic bridge thing that I've been seeing a lot of. And it looks like we have maybe 51. So I do feel like there is, I feel like there's just so many, like, it's so many messages. With the bird, it's the messenger, right? So many messages coming through for you. And I just feel this real, I mean, just your psychic ability is off the charts. I feel that you're in a place of, your spirits are high, right? You have a lot of energy, a lot of focus, and it's all like aligning in this perfect way that I think you're really doing something for yourself that it feels very meaningful. I think maybe for the first time in quite a while, because, you know, in the readings, it's been like you've really been working towards getting your life stable, getting everything kind of, you know, back to a point where, you know, you're feeling pretty solid, and, you know, you can kind of trust that there aren't going to be too many big problems, hopefully, fingers crossed. And all of that's been wonderful. And, you know, so now I really think that there's this room for you to really be exploring these spiritual aspects of your life, right? Where before it was more about like survival stuff and just getting things worked out. And so, yeah. Let's take a look at lightness of being affirmation cards. Oh my goodness. I'm scared of the cat, or TT, lately. She scratched me in the face during one of my readings. I'm not trying to tell on her. She just got scared because her nail got in my sweater. But now I'm just like freaked out. Like, please don't scratch my eyes. Okay. Let's see. We're going to stop where it feels right. And here we are. It says, divine will, harmony. Meditate upon your sphere of radiance and let light permeate your mind. Yes, I like it. I like. All right. Okay. Well, Scorpio, thank you for joining me for this bonus reading. I'm going to go cough up a storm now. I gotta drink some tea or something. All day it was pretty good. And then I started doing my readings and, it just went wild there for a little bit. So anyways, enough of my griping. I love you and I thank you so much for being here with me. If you would be so kind as to like the video, it really does help the channel so much. And if you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit the little bell. It'll let you know when the next readings are coming out. And it's free to subscribe. If you'd like to leave a comment, please do. I read them all and they mean the world to me. All right. With that, I will say good night. I love you. We'll talk in just a couple days.